I'm coming. Getting everything ready. Okay, I'm about to get this reading going. I was trying to get ready, sitting forever. Focus camera. There you go. Let me think. Share. Boom, there we go. Man, I'm hungry right now. Oh, that's funny. Number 16. Gotcha. I'll say this before I start. It was some interesting. Well, yeah, I can double it. Ooh, nice. Okay, so I was trying to get to do this video earlier, but I had ended up I was playing this game on the PS5 and I ended up going to talk to somebody named Big who was on the PS4. And I joined his game to talk to him. And all I wanted to do was just tell him some update information about, my progress and everything. And then when I get in there, he's as it's loading up, I go outside on my balcony and I'm sweeping and stuff, and I forgot that I had joined his lobby. I'm like, oh man, they probably kicked me out by now because I wasn't moving, but due to inactivity, right? So I go back in there, and I'm still in his lobby basically. He's not even playing anything yet, but he had got off of the game for some reason. It still showed that he was in the lobby. I don't know why. So I end up inviting him to a party chat, and he came in the party chat, and then we was talking in the party chat, and I was telling him the update information on my progress in the game, and then somehow his friend named, well, the PSN, Almighty Ken, came in, and when they came, I don't know if we was already talking about it or if we started talking about the biblical spiritual, but we started talking about the biblical spiritual stuff, and we was in there for probably about an hour, maybe longer. Yeah, we went on. But basically, the point is, that was a blessing, that we had that conversation. It's not a lot of people that I have those conversations with on the PSN, on console gaming. So I know a long time ago, over 8-9 years ago, when I used to game on console, I rarely had any conversation about God and the Bible that I can remember. For one, I was very ignorant of it anyway, so I wasn't one of those people that would even try to have a conversation about it that I know of. So nowadays, I meet more and more people that are like-minded, biblical and spiritual, and we have discussions about it while I'm gaming every now and then. So that's a benefit in itself. That was basically the point of the intro. I just thought I'd share that before we get to reading while I'm getting ready. It's a blessing now that I'm meeting more people like that in my walk with God. Because before, when I wasn't walking with God, I knew very few people and rarely had those discussions. Now I do, and it's a benefit that I get to have them while I'm gaming. So that's a benefit. And this particular time, I wasn't even gaming. I was cleaning up while I was talking to them, just walking around the apartment. So anyway, I'm gonna read 5 chapters, God willing, in Numbers today. So I should get to chapter 20, actually 21. So this should be What Did God Say Only in Numbers part 4. I'm gonna read chapter 16 through 20. That's the plan. And I'm already hungry, but it's all good. Still gonna read it, you know what I mean? Okay, so here we go. After I get this drink real quick. It's a 5-minute intro right there. Who's gonna survive that? Man, this drink is good. Man. Okay, let me read. Okay, that was good. Okay, anyway. Thank God for that. All right, it says in number 16, verse 1. Now, Korah, okay, just had to check, make sure I got my notes and everything ready. Now, Korah, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, along with Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and on son of Peleth, descendants of Reuben, took 250 Israelite men, leaders of the congregation, chosen from the assembly, well-known men. I am hot. Okay, I'm thinking something's got to go. I'm thinking what to turn off, okay, I got an idea. I'll be right back. Hold on. So I want to keep that one on, but that one might have to go too. That might be the best one to turn off. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I had to turn off one of those heat sources. I think I'm on 3. Or am I? Nah, I ain't get to 3 yet. I was on chosen right around that part, okay. So verse 2. I'll just start over at 200. I'll just start over right before 2. Descendants of Reuben took 250 Israelite leaders of Israelite men, leaders of the congregation, chosen from the assembly, well-known men, and they confronted Moses. What is this about? They assembled against Moses and against Aaron and said to them, "You have gone too far. All the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. So why then do you exalt yourselves above the assembly of the Lord?" Okay. When Moses heard it, he fell on his face. Then he said to Korah and all his company, "In the morning the Lord will make known who is his." Interesting. Then he said, "Okay, and who is holy?" Ooh. So Korah said that. Interesting. One of the priests, right? Korah, son of Ishar, son of Kohath. Oh, I mixed up Korah with Kohath. Ah, but he was a Levite. I went wrong about that part. Yeah, 5. I'm gonna read 5 again and keep going. Then he said to Korah and all his company, "In the morning the Lord will make known who is his and who is holy, and who will be allowed to approach him." Let me do one thing because I forgot to take my camera off on my other laptop. There we go. We're good. And let me get off Facebook because I don't want nobody calling me on Facebook. It's somebody I know who does that, and I just can't. So I had to get off it. Okay. So I don't even think I read all of 5. I'm gonna just start over at 5. And then he said to Korah and all his company, "In the morning the Lord will make known who is his and who is holy, and who will be allowed to approach him. The one whom he will choose, he will allow to approach him. Do this: take censers, Korah, and all your company, and tomorrow put fire in them, and lay incense on them before the Lord. And the man whom the Lord chooses shall be the Holy One. You Levites have gone too far. Okay. Then Moses said to Korah, Hear now, you Levites, it is too little for you. Is it too little for you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to allow you to approach him in order to perform the duties of the Lord's tabernacle and to stand before the congregation and serve them? He has allowed you to approach him and all your brothers, Levites, with you, yet you seek the priesthood as well. Therefore, you and all your company have gathered together against the Lord. What is Aaron that you rail against him? Moses sent Dothan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, but they said, We will not come. Is it too little that you have brought us up out of the land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness? What? That's weird. They weren't really there long. So these must be the ones that's going to get killed off. That's what I'm thinking. Move this out the way. To kill us in the wilderness, that you must also lord it over us. It is clear you have not brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey because y'all disobeyed. No, because, man, I wish whoever is listening at this point would have had it in memory of the previous chapters, because they tripping right now. Oh yeah. I'm going to start over at 14. It is clear you have not brought us into the land flowing with milk and honey, or given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Would you put out the eyes of these men? We will not come. Moses was very angry and said to the Lord, Pay no attention to their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them, and I have not harmed any one of them. And Moses said to Korah, As for you and all your company, be present tomorrow, before the Lord, you and they and Aaron, and let each one of you take his censer and put incense on it, and each one of you present his censer before the Lord, 250 censers. You also and Aaron, each his censer. So each man took his censer, and they put fire in the censers and laid incense on them. And they stood at the entrance of the tent of meeting with Moses and Aaron. Then Korah assembled the whole congregation against them at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And the glory of the Lord appeared to the whole congregation. Then the Lord spoke to Moses. Okay, verse 20. God is going to talk. Let me get ready to highlight. Number 16, 20. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves. Let me turn the page. Separate yourselves from, let me find my spot on this plane. Separate yourselves from this congregation so that I may consume them in a moment. Wow. Okay, then it says, They fell on their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one person sin and you become angry with the whole congregation? They went along with it. They were all partakers. So wait a minute. So somebody else is talking at this point. So let me okay, so verse 20 through 21, God is talking. Okay. Now 22, somebody said, well, it says they fell on their faces and said, "Oh God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one person sin and you become angry with the whole congregation?" And the Lord in 23 spoke to Moses, saying, "Say to the congregation, get away from the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." So Moses, okay, so now God isn't talking in 25. So Moses got up and went to Dathan and Abiram. The elders of Israel followed him. He said to the congregation, "Turn away from the tents of these wicked men." Makes sense. "And touch nothing of theirs, or you will be swept away for all their sins." So they got away from the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the entrance of their tents, together with their wives, their children, and the little ones. And Moses said, "This is how you shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works. It has not been of my own accord. If these people die a natural death, or if a natural fate comes on them, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord creates something new, and the ground opens its mouth and swallows them up with all that belongs to them, and they go down alive into hell, then you shall know that these men have despised the Lord." As soon as he finished speaking all these words, the ground under them was split apart. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them up, along with their households, every one who belonged to Korah, and all their goods. So they, with all that belonged to them, went down alive into hell. The earth closed over them, and they perished from the midst of the assembly. And all Israel around them fled at their outcry. For they said, "The earth will swallow us too." And fire came out from the Lord and consumed the 250 men offering the incense. Then then the Lord spoke to me. Okay, now God is talking again. 36. Right there. Got it. "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, to make the censers out of the blaze, then scatter the fire far and wide. For the censers of these sinners have become holy at the cost of their lives. Make them into hammered plates as a covering for the altar. For they presented them before the Lord, and they became holy. Thus they shall be assigned to the Israel." Oh, wow. That I don't remember. I cannot say that. So, man, it's a lot. Okay. So Eleazar, the priest, took the bronze censers that had been presented by those who were burned, and they were hammered out as a covering for the altar, a reminder to the Israelites that no outsider who is not of the descendants of Aaron shall approach to offer incense before the Lord, so as not to become like Korah and his company, just as the Lord had said to him through Moses. On the next day, however, the whole congregation of the Israelites rebelled against Moses and against Aaron, saying, "You have killed the people of the Lord And when the congregation has assembled against them, had assembled against them, Moses and Aaron turned toward the tent of meeting. The cloud had covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron came to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, okay, now God is talking. 44. Saying, get away from this congregation so that I may consume them in a moment. Wow. And they fell on their faces. Moses said to Aaron, take your censer, put fire on it from the altar, and lay incense on it, and carry it quickly to the congregation and make atonement for them. Man. And make atonement for them, for wrath has gone out from the Lord. The plague has begun. Dang, another plague. How many plagues did they get? Okay, that's verse 46. Another plague. Let me note that. Dang, boy, I tell you. This why your nickname should be Can't Get Right. For real. Hey. I don't understand. I don't. So this is number 1647, 46. I don't understand. Mm, 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 mm. They need to stop. 47. So Aaron took it as Moses had ordered and ran into the middle of the assembly where the plague had already begun among the people. He put on the incense and made atonement for the people. He stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stopped. Some people had already died. Those who died by the plague were 14,700. Dang. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Mm, 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 mm. Verse 48. 14,700. Besides those who died in the affair of Korah. Yeah, that's different. Dang. Okay, so 50. When the plague was stopped, Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting. 17. Crazy. Then it says, wait, I gotta get the part where the earth swallowed up Korah and all them. So you feel the people of the Lord. Just before that. As soon as he's finished speaking the words, so 31 through 33. Crazy. That was a crazy chapter. Okay. Dang, that was the first one. Crazy. Chapter 17. The Lord spoke to Moses. God is talking. Already. Already, you know what I mean? Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one for each ancestral house. From all the leaders of their ancestral houses, write each man's name on his staff, and write Aaron's name on the staff of Levi. And then it says, for there shall be one staff for the head of each ancestral house. Place them in the tent of meeting before the covenant, where I meet with you, and the staff of the man whom I choose shall sprout. Thus I will put a stop to the complaints of the Israelites that they continually make against you. Moses spoke to the Israelites. Okay, so he stopped speaking in 6. Okay. So 6, Moses spoke to the Israelites, and all their leaders gave him staffs, one for each leader, according to their ancestral houses, 12 staffs, and the staff of Aaron was among theirs. So Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the covenant. When Moses went into the tent of the covenant on the next day, the staff of Aaron for the house of Levi had sprouted. It put forth buds, produced blossoms, and bore ripe almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from before the Lord to all the Israelites, and they looked, and each man took his staff. And the Lord said to Moses, put back the staff of Aaron before the covenant. Okay, so God is talking in 10, I think. Yeah, and the Lord Lord said to Moses, put back the staff of Aaron before the covenant to be kept as a warning to rebels, so that you may make an end of their complaints against me, or else they will die. Moses did so, just as the Lord commanded him, so he did. The Israelites said to Moses, we are perishing, we are lost, all of us are lost. Everyone who approaches the tabernacle of the Lord will die. Are we all to perish? The Lord said to Aaron, you and your sons and your ancestral house with you shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, while you and your sons alone shall bear responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. So bring with you also your brothers of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, in order that they may be joined to you and serve you, while you and your sons with you are in front of the tent of the covenant. They shall perform duties for you and for the whole tent, but they must not approach either the utensils of the sanctuary or the altar. Otherwise, both they and you will die. They are attached to you in order to perform the duties of the tent of meeting. For all the servants of the tent, no outsider shall approach you. You yourselves shall perform the duties of the sanctuary and the duties of the altar, so that wrath may never again come on the Israelites. It is I who now take your brother Levites from among the Israelites. They are now yours as a gift dedicated to the Lord, to perform the service of the tent of meeting. But you and your sons with you shall diligently perform your priestly duties in all that concerns the altar and the area behind the curtain. I give your priesthood as a gift. Any outsider who approaches shall be put to death. And God is going to continue to talk. So this is what, chapter 18. Okay. So that was 1 through 7. Let me go and highlight that real quick. Mm-hmm. 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 Man, oh man. We're going to verse 7. I be tripping. 7. Okay, verse 8. Here we go. It says, the Lord spoke to Aaron. I have given you charge of the offerings made to me. All the holy gifts of the Israelites I have given to them. There's no 2 in there. Actually, it's after them, but I reversed it. I have given them to you and your sons as a priestly portion due you in perpetuity. This shall be yours from the most holy things, reserved from the fire. Every offering of theirs that they render to me as a most holy thing, whether grain offering, sin offering, or guilt offering, shall belong to you and your sons. As a most holy thing, you shall eat it. Every male may eat it. Oh, I didn't say female. It shall be holy to you. This also is yours. I have given to you, together with your sons and daughters, as a perpetual due. Whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the elevation offerings of the Israelites, everyone who is clean in your house may eat them. Okay, that one included daughters. All the best of the oil and all the best of the wine and of the grain, the choice produce that they give to the Lord, I have given you, or to you. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to the Lord, shall be yours. Everyone who is clean in your house may eat of it. Every devoted thing in Israel shall be yours. The first issue of the womb of all creatures, human and animal, which is offered to the Lord, shall be yours. But the firstborn of human beings you shall redeem, and the firstborn of the unclean animals you shall redeem. The firstborn of the unclean too? Okay. Their redemption price, reckoned from 1 month of age, you shall fix at 5 shekels of silver, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, that is 20 garabs. Did I say that right? Garabs. There we go. But the firstborn of a cow, or the firstborn of a sheep, or the firstborn of a goat, you shall not redeem. They are holy. Oh, interesting. I can't say I do that. So that I definitely want to know. Should I know that? Oh wait, what's the next part? You shall dash their blood on the altar. Makes sense. I gotta get that one. Okay. You shall dash their blood on the altar, and shall turn their fat into smoke as an offering by fire for a pleasing odor to the Lord. But their flesh shall be yours, just as the breast that is elevated and as the right thigh are yours. Okay, we get that was 17, right? 18, 17. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Maybe I should get 16 too, or 15. I think I'm gonna get 14 to 17. You know what I mean? 13 through 17. That part. Interesting. 17 is good. Yeah, I'm gonna just get 17 for now. Okay, where we at? The firstborn of a cow. You shall not redeem. Cow, goat, and what else? Sheep. Okay, I had to get it. I had to get it. Oh, it said more, but I ain't gonna get that part. Dang. That's so good. That verse 17, it's a killer. It's a killer. Okay, so then in 18 it says, but their flesh shall be yours, just as the breast that is elevated and as the right thigh are yours. All the holy offerings that the Israelites present to the Lord, I have given you to you, together with your sons and daughters as a perpetual due. It is a covenant of salt forever. Covenant of salt, okay. Different. Before the Lord, for you and your descendants as well. Then the Lord said to Aaron, okay, God is still talking. So you shall have no allotment in their land, nor shall you have any share among them. I am your share and your possession among the Israelites. To the Levites, I have given every tithe in Israel for possession in return for the service that they perform, the service in the tent of meeting. From now on, the Israelites shall no longer approach the tent of meeting, or else they will incur guilt and die. Well, dang. So this is the change. This is one of the transitions, even in the Old Testament. Interesting. Well, all right. It definitely sounds like a change. So I definitely got to get that. That's 22, right? Yep. Yep, boy. Changes occur all the time. Changes occur all the time. I'll just say change in the law. Change in the law, boy. I don't even want to know that. I'm going to just say change in the law. You know what I mean? 23, it says, but the Levites shall perform the service of the tent of meeting. Ha! Levites take their place. And they shall bear responsibility for their own offenses. It shall be a perpetual statute throughout your generations. But among the Israelites, they shall have no allotment, because I have given the Levites as their portion the tithe of the Israelites, which they set apart as an offering to the Lord. Therefore I have said of them that they shall have no allotment among the Israelites. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, you shall speak to the Levites, saying, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you from them for your portion, you shall set apart an offering from it to the Lord. Okay. A tithe of the tithe. It shall be reckoned to you as your gift, the same as the grain of the threshing floor, and the fullness of the winepress. Thus you also shall set apart an offering to the Lord from all the tithes that you receive from the Israelites, and from them you shall give the Lord's offering to the priest Aaron. Out of all the gifts to you, you shall set apart every offering due to the Lord. The best of all of them is the part to be consecrated. Say also to them, when you have set apart the best of it, then the rest shall be reckoned to the Levites as produce of the threshing floor, and as produce of the winepress. You may eat it in any place, you and your households, for it is your payment for your service in the tent of meeting. You shall incur no guilt by reason of it, when you have offered the best of it. But you shall not profane the holy gifts of the Israelites on pain of death. Okay. 19. So God spoke that whole chapter, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'll highlight that after this one. I'm gonna just keep going. 19. God is still talking. Ceremony of the red heifer. Okay. Yep. That's what I was thinking. And I see it. Okay. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "This is a statute of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect, in which there is no blemish." Well, that's what without defect means, but okay, but whatever. And on which no yoke has been laid. All right. You shall give it to the priest Eleazar, and it shall be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. So not at the tent of meeting or on the altar. Well, not in the sanctuary, nowhere in there. Okay, this is different. Um, the priest Eleazar shall take some of his blood with his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. Mm. Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight. Its skin, its flesh, and its blood, with its dung, dang, okay, shall be burned. The priest shall take cedar wood, hyssop, and crimson material, and throw them into the fire in which the heifer is burning. Then the priest shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterwards he may come into the camp. But the priest shall remain unclean until evening. Yeah, I thought he was unclean for that. Um, the one who burns the heifer shall wash his clothes in water and bathe his body in water. He shall remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place. And they shall be kept from the congregation of the Israelites for the water for cleansing. It is a purification offering. The one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. Y'all thought that was the case with that too. All right. All right. Okay, hold on. That was 1 through 10, right? Yeah. Interesting. I wonder why the same person who birthed it and did all that couldn't just, you know, do the second part too. Maybe that was too much work for one person. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to overwork him. I don't know. But 2 people had to be unclean for that. Become unclean. The next part says, "This shall be a perpetual statute for the Israelites and for the alien residing among them. Those who touch the dead body of any human being shall be unclean 7 days. They shall purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day." Hmm. Sorry, head pain. They shall purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Now that's different. I'm having more pain. And so be clean. But if they do not purify themselves on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, they will not become clean. That's the first time I've heard that. Maybe I should note it. I don't know. All who touch a corpse, the body of a human being who has died, and do not purify themselves, defile the tabernacle of the Lord. Such persons shall be cut off from Israel. Since water for cleansing was not dashed on them, they remain unclean. Their uncleanness is still on them. This is the law when someone dies in a tent. Okay. Everyone who comes into the tent and everyone who is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. and every open vessel with no cover fastened on it is unclean. Dang, I didn't know that either. Whoever in the open field touches one who has been killed by a sword, or who has died naturally, or a human bone. Goodness, if you just touch a human bone. Okay. Or okay, this is definitely new for me. Or grave shall be unclean 7 days. Dang. People that go to the graveyards. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. Well, all right. Where we at? Shall be unclean 7 days. 17. Definitely gonna know 16. Whew. Yeah, I'm gonna get that right now. Let me get that. Numbers. What's this? 19? Okay. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Had to get that. Whew. I didn't know that. Okay. 17. For the unclean, they shall take some ashes of the burnt purification offering, and running water shall be added in a vessel. Then a clean person shall take hyssop, dip it in water, in the water, and sprinkle it on the tent, on all the furnishings, on the persons who were there, and on whoever touched the bone, the slain, the corpse, or the grave. The clean per I was thinking about something. The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean ones on the third day and on the seventh day. So they can't do it themselves? I didn't know that. Wow. That would be hard to do today. Okay. So what was I? 19, I'll just start off. The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean ones on the third day and on the seventh day, thus purifying them on the seventh day. Hmm. So it still takes 7 days. Interesting. I want to get it, but I'm tired, so I'm gonna just keep reading. Then they shall wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water, and at evening shall be clean. Any who are unclean but do not purify themselves, those persons shall be cut off from the assembly, for they have defiled the sanctuary. Yeah, this is definitely different from today, because there is no, like, who would we go to that would really be considered a priest of God? Yeah, I don't think that's practiced like that today. This because I don't know any real priests. I only got one person that I think could be a priest, and he lived hours away. It ain't nothing I can do. Well, it ain't nothing like I can just go over there anyway. So where we at? 20? Okay. I'm just start over at 20. Any who are unclean but do not purify themselves, those persons shall be cut off from the assembly, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water for cleansing has not been dashed on them, they are unclean. It shall be a perpetual statute for them. The one who sprinkles the water for cleansing shall wash his clothes, and whoever touches the water for cleansing shall be unclean until evening. Whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and anyone who touches it shall be unclean until evening. All right, made it to the last chapter. So basically, God was talking that whole chapter two. Sounds like so. I like when God talks about unclean and clean, though. Definitely helps me out. Okay, it's a lot of stuff I didn't know, but yeah, God lays that law down. It helps me out. And it'll be crazy today if that stuff still applied as heavy as it did. Even though I think it does still count, but it's hard to get rid of it though. It's like so many people will be unclean in these times. In this country, it's ridiculous. I thought it out one day. So this is chapter 20. What does it start saying? The Israelites, the whole congregation came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh. Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, so they gathered. Oh goodness, Moses! This might be when Moses is gonna die. Spoiler alert. I don't think I'm ready for this, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Just got to read it. So it says, and two. Now there was no water for the congregation, so they gathered together against Moses and against Aaron. The people quarreled with Moses and said, would that we had died when our kindred died before the Lord. Why have you brought the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness for us and our livestock to die here? Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to bring us to this wretched place? It is no place for grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink. Then Moses and Aaron went away from the assembly to the entrance of the tent of meeting. They fell on their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. God is going to talk. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, take the staff and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and command the rock before their eyes to yield its water. Thus you shall bring water out of the rock for them. Man, Moses finna die. Thus you shall provide drink for the congregation and their livestock. So he told him, I'll read this again real quick. Take the staff and assemble the congregation, you and your brother Aaron, and command the rock before their eyes to yield its water. Command. God. Because I remember he struck the rock. Anyway. So Moses, okay, God ain't talking no more. So God talked a little bit and down. Hold on, let me highlight that. Okay, in verse 9, it's Moses talking. Okay, 9. So Moses took the staff from the Lord as he had commanded. Well, it's about Moses. I said it's Moses talking, but it's about Moses. Okay, so Moses took the staff from before the Lord as he had commanded him. 10. Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, listen, you rebels, shall we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted up his hand and struck the rock twice with his staff. Water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their livestock drank. It sounds like Moses was frustrated right there. That's what it sounds like. And their livestock drank. But the Lord said to him, okay, now God is talking in 12. Where's 12? Oh, I'm on the wrong chapter. 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. I see it, got it. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust in me to show my holiness before the eyes of the Israelites, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land that I have given them. All right. Into the land that I have given them. 13. These are the waters of Meribah, where the people of Israel quarreled with the Lord and by which he showed his holiness. Okay. 14. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, you know all the adversity that has befallen us, how our ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians oppressed us and our ancestors. And when we cried to the Lord, he heard us, he heard our voice and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt. And here we are in Kadesh, a town on the edge of your territory. Now let us pass through your land. We will not pass through field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will go along the king's highway, not turning aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed through your territory. But Edom said to him, you shall not pass through, or we will come out with the sword against you. The Israelites said to him, we will stay on the highway, and if we drink of your water, we and our livestock, then we'll pay for it. It is only a small matter. Just let us pass through on foot. But he said, you shall not pass through. And Edom came out against them with a large force, heavily armed. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through their territory. So Israel turned away from them. The death of Aaron. They set out from Kadesh, and the Israelites, the whole congregation, came out to Mount Hor. Then the Lord said to Moses, okay, now God is talking again. I didn't know if God was going to talk again in this chapter. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron at Mount Hor on the border of the land of Edom, let Aaron be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land that I have given the Israelites, because you rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Take Aaron and his son Eleazar and bring them up Mount Hor. So Aaron was included in that too. Then it says in 26, strip Aaron of his vestments and put them on his son Eleazar, but Aaron shall be gathered to his people and shall die there. Moses did as the Lord had commanded. Okay, so 26, God stops talking. Man, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? In the building. In the building. 27. Moses did as the Lord had commanded. They went up Mount Hor in the sight of the whole congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his vestments and put them on his son Eleazar, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. When all the congregation saw that Aaron had died, all of the house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. That's a lot. I don't remember that. So that's a huge deal right there in 30 days. That's whole 30 days. I am hungry. Ooh, the serpent coming in the building. Man. Okay, so that is it today. I want to read that, but I'm also starving so bad I want to go in the kitchen and eat right away. But I gotta make one more note. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I gotta highlight all of 19 and 18. Because God was talking, if I'm not mistaken, the whole time. You know what I mean? I wish I had one big highlighter just knock out the whole, like the whole right side of this page. It's wrong. So God willing, I'll be back tomorrow to finish reading 5 more chapters. I'm gonna just try to do 5 chapters a day. That's the plan. So I can knock this book out. This chapter, well, the book of Numbers is 36 chapters. So I got a few more days and then I'll be done. God willing, anyway. That is the plan so far. I feel sleepy too. It's a good thing. I ain't complaining about that. I gotta highlight this too. I gotta highlight all this. All the right here. All the y'all hear what I'm saying? Okay, boom. Got it. Oh yeah. Got all yeah. Now what was that note that I wanted? Oh yeah, when Moses. Yeah. Oh yeah. Funny. Get over here. You got all yeah. Numbers. I'm so hungry. Numbers 7 through what, 8? Yeah, number 7 through 8. I might as well say 7 through 7 through 12. Yeah, I'm gonna say 7 through 12. So the cross reference to that is when Aaron was going to die. So there must be 23 through 26. Yep. That's right. That's right. So I'm going to cross reference that. 23 through 26. Aaron dies. Well, he didn't die yet, but he was gonna die. So maybe I should say 26 to what? 29? Yeah, I'm gonna say 26 to 29. Aaron dies. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Man, that was some good stuff. Well, anyway, I'm gone. Finna get out of here. Well, I'm about to be gone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay, y'all, peace be to the saints. If you watched, thanks for watching. If you do watch, thanks for watching. I'm going to eat and finish cutting my hair. I don't know if y'all noticed, but my hair ain't even finished. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I ain't let that stop me from reading. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? All right, I'm finna go eat. All right, y'all. Man, that was good, though. That was good. All right, let me get out of here. Man, oh man.